on to posture. One of the things that happens when we're going through mindfulness is that we need to be sitting in a way that's comfortable. And maybe you're not even in pain, but you've noticed that if you sit, you struggle to get comfortable. How many of us, even as kids, have been nagged about how to sit, and a lot of us don't know. So this is the simplest thing that I have ever learned when I was a physio. And actually it helped me a lot. And so I'm going to share it. I'm going to go side on, then I'm going to go into a chair. So the first thing is, this is a treatment couch, and most of you do not have one of these at home. And what's amazing about this treatment couch is you can see me quite clearly. There's several factors, and this session is only about sitting. We're going to do a different session about standing. The first thing to understand is all of us are built differently. Even if you're the same height as someone, it's likely that you're going to be a different proportion. And understanding your body's proportions, and you can do this with your children, you can do this with your family members. So it really, really, really helps. So the first thing when we sit is that our feet should be flat on the floor. And if you have a desk that you need to raise your chair up to get under the desk so your arms can be level with the desk height and your feet are dangling, that's when something as simple as a book, if any of you have an old yellow pages, you can create your own footstool. I have lowered the bed so it's the right height for myself. So my feet are flat on the floor, and I hope you can see this. I'm not sure you can see this with the contrast, but in terms of the amount of support, I want to have just maybe about that much, like an inch, between the crease of my knee and the back of the chair, which is called the depth of the chair. And if you're looking at the chairs at home, you may have sat on ones which feel less supportive and some that feel more supportive. We're all used to the really deep chair that throws us backwards. But many of us don't focus on the chair that is actually too short for us. We're struggling, we don't know why we can't get comfortable. So making sure that the chair is deep enough is a really important thing. My feet are flat, chair is deep enough, but I'm not squashing my knee. The next thing is to find the equal place. And the cheat for that is to sit on your sitting bones. And how do you find your sitting bones? Oh, I'm going to get the sun. Hold on, if not, I'll shut the blinds. You take a hand and you lift it up underneath your bottom and underneath your bottom. And then you roll. I'm actually hold fast for 2 seconds. I'm still here, I'm still here. But if I don't do that, you're not going to see me. There we go. Magic. Technology. Okay, so we'll go back to your feet flat, lift one bottom cheek, lift the other bottom cheek. And you can do this at home at the moment. So you're sitting in your chair, or maybe you need to get another chair from another room. You can do this on a sofa if you're sitting on a sofa. Feet flat, make sure you're positioned in the chair, or be aware if your chair doesn't now feel deep enough. Take one hand, literally lift one bottom cheek back, then the other bottom cheek back. As you rock side to side, you may not know that they're your sitting bones, but those firm sensation you feel is your sitting bone. It does not matter what size you are. I say this to lots of my patients. Everyone says, oh, different sizes. It doesn't matter. We all have sitting bones and we can all feel them. They just feel like there's too firm a bit. Rock and come and find the center. Now from here, I've then got my lumbar spine. That's my low back. And really simply, as soon as I'm on my sitting bones, which is here, for most of us, it actually puts our low back in a really comfortable position. We can check by gently rocking forwards and back. So going into a slouch, going up, going into a slouch, coming up, and finding that position of the sitting bones again. My breastbone and my belly button want to be on top of each other. So if I'm hunching, they're going to be really squashed together. Some people overcorrect when they sit. I'd see a lot of people coming in trying to help themselves, and this is what they do all day. Do this. And I don't know about you at home, but this really isn't comfortable for me to do. Pinching. So coming onto your sitting bone, sitting nice and softly, breastbone on top of belly button, and all I'm doing is taking one finger, popping it on my breastbone, one finger and putting it on my belly button and just checking that they're in a line. Our spine doesn't end here. Our spine goes all the way up to the base of my neck, and then my head is on top. We want our head to float up tall, because again, you'll see people where this looks great, and then watch this, they do that. That's not a great way. It doesn't look very comfortable. It isn't very comfortable. So my head's going to float up tall as if I've got a piece of string as a helium balloon, or like I teach people in my Pilates classes, it's going to be like a giraffe. So this is a tortoise neck. This is an owl. And we want to be giraffes with long necks. So my feet are flat. I've got support. I'm on my sitting bone. My breastbone and my belly button are in line. My head is floating up tall. And then I want to focus on my shoulders. So again, imagine that my chest is gently opened. The overcorrection is people pull back and they get a strain. Things that I've heard said, imagine that there's sunlight beaming out of your chest. Sometimes I think of my breastbone as the spine of a book. The pages are gently falling open so that there's space. And from here, if you were working at a desk, your arms should be at 90 degrees and then you'd slot under. But we're going to talk about sitting more comfortably, which is the mindfulness. So if I take the same thing, I pop out into my chair. Now the secret here is this is a really nice chair that I bought especially, and I checked the seat depth and I checked the height to make sure it was going to be pretty comfortable for most of my patients. But I could still adjust it further. So underneath this, I've got pillows. I've also got little pads. These are my Pilates pads, but you've all got towels and cushions that you can use at home. And so I'm going to make sure that my feet are flat, which they are. I'm going to get my hands again. I'm going to lift one bottom back and then the other. Find that center point of my sitting bones. And I may notice that there's still a little bit of a gap. And that's okay, but if I was sitting for 20 or 30 minutes, I may get tired. So I'm going to get a pad, I'm going to put it behind my back, and that's going to give me some support. So if I turn sideways, you can see that all I've done is find my center and just pop my pad just in the small of my back, and that's going to help me stay still. I'm going to turn face on again. One of the things to say is the stronger you are in your core muscles, the easier it is to sit well. So don't worry if when you start having this posture, it shouldn't hurt, it should feel really good. You get tired quite quickly. That is why you use cushions and pads. So let's go through this once more together, and then I'm going to teach you the last little bit. So feet, knees, hip width apart, making sure you're supported, wiggling, find your sitting bones, breastbone on top of belly button, head floating up tall like a giraffe, shoulders gently opened, maybe grabbing that cushion or pillow that you need, popping it behind your back. Then take a nice breath in, breathe out, and soften. Just because you're sitting well, it does not mean that you have to have that tension. And with a mindfulness practice, you will become aware of that. If you want to experience that now, as you're sitting, just visualize and think about tensing your body. And I'm sure you can feel maybe it's your tummy, maybe it's your neck, maybe it's your feet that tense. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, let that go or soften. So my little thing for you to do at home is go around the house, have a look at the different chairs that you sit in, see which one suits your body the most. What is the one that allows you to sit in the best way? Not all chairs are going to be useful, not all chairs are great. I've definitely sat in chairs that I can't actually get a nice posture and feel really uncomfortable for my body and my body type. The only other thing that you can do to make yourself feel even more comfortable is some people get really restless in their arms. So it looks a bit funny on camera, but having a nice pillow for your arms to rest can feel really lovely. Checking your feet. Some people will have a habit of sitting with their feet tucked underneath, and then their knees can get really tight when they get up, but they're not sure why. Some people, this is what I do. I squish my foot, I kind of rest on my toes and wonder why my foot's sore. Other people are like this for a couple of hours. And again, then don't understand why the front of their hips are tight. So coming into that position, bringing your awareness into your body, allowing yourself to sit as comfortably as you can. You'll get better at this as you practice. Your tolerance of this position will get better. However, it is okay to slouch and slump as long as your body is generally okay with that. You can slouch and slump and sit however you want, maybe for 20 or 30% of the time. 70 to 80% of the time, you want to be looking after yourself, doing what's best, putting your body in that best position.